Hi, I'm Pete Miller, President and CEO of the Institutes. We're a global not-for-profit whose mission is to educate, elevate, and connect the people focused on risk management and insurance. You're listening to Predict and Prevent, a podcast that explores how technology and resiliency can prevent losses before they occur. In each episode, we learn about innovative solutions and hear from leading experts on how they are making these approaches a reality today.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Miller, and today we have a special episode to speak with the winner of the International Insurance Society's 2025 Predict and Prevent Award. I'm pleased to welcome Pierre du Rostu, CEO of AXA Digital Commercial Platform. Pierre leads an innovation team that's transforming how businesses approach risk, combining cutting-edge technologies like AI, IoT sensors, and real-time satellite data with AXA's deep risk management expertise. In this episode, we'll explore how AXA's platform is helping organizations predict and prevent losses before they happen, why Pierre believes we're living in an age of polycrisis, where multiple risks cascade and amplify each other, and how the insurance industry is fundamentally shifting from simply paying claims to becoming a true risk prevention partner. The award will be presented at the IIS Global Insurance Forum in Switzerland later this month. But before then, let's learn more about AXA's digital commercial platform. Pierre, please provide us a high-level view of AXA's digital commercial platform and how a customer could use it to predict and prevent potential losses.
So DCP is a one-stop shop for risk management solution, allowing businesses to predict and prevent their risks in one place. It combines historic data sets, real-time data from satellites or from IoT sensors, third-party softwares, and AXA in-house expertise to give businesses comprehensive understanding, oversight, and protection. The platform lets customers gauge and fix their vulnerabilities, see threats early, and act before damages occur. It helps organizations to stay resilient, keep operation running, and most importantly, avoid costly losses.
So that's very interesting. So you mentioned a number of different kind of technologies. So can you tell us what are some of the technologies being used by the platform to mitigate risks?
Yeah, absolutely. So DCP is built on Amazon Web Services. We have a strategic partnership with Amazon, and we use their services quite a lot to build the platform to handle vast amount of data quickly and with high level of reliability. But on top of that, we use a lot of real-time geospatial data from diverse data providers, public and private fleets, to track wildfires, flood risks, climate change, etc., etc. We use a lot of IoTs, so sensors, be it in ships, in planes, in trucks, cars, and so on and so on. And of course, quite recently, we've been accelerating on generative AI. For us, it's a game changer, and we are very much focused on investing on Gen AI because we think it's going to be a revolution for us.
Yeah, very interesting. The Gen AI angle, of course, is very timely. So your award application talks about the world being in a polycrisis. So what does that mean? Can you give us an example of how these different risks crash into each other in real life?
Absolutely. And in the past, we've used we were used to have one crisis after the other. But what we have observed for the past 5-10 years is that now it's not one after the other, but we have crises that are interlinked. So the term polycrisis describes a situation where many risks overlap, interlinks, and amplify each other. So if you take practical example, climate change creates social instability. Social instability could lead to geopolitical crisis. Geopolitical crisis could lead to cyber attack, to supply chain disruption, etc., etc. So there is no more single event isolated, but it's kind of a cascade of risks across border and across industries. And this is why we thought of the platform model to be able to address the different risks at the same time and make sure we can model and create connection in between climate change, geopolitical risks, supply chain disruption, and so on and so on.
So traditionally, most insurers pay claims after something bad happens, right? So it sounds like you're trying to prevent bad things from happening in the first place. So kind of from a business model point of view, how does that change AXA's business?
We live in a world where insurance can't be anymore the unique solution to risks. If you look at the numbers, last year, I think it was 2/3 of the losses related to climate change that were not insured. On cyber risk, I think it's more than 90% of the losses that are not insured. And on geopolitical risk, we think it's even higher than 90%. So it puts us in a corner where we have traditional way of looking at risk and doing insurance business, but it can't be the solution anymore. And we, as an industry, have to completely reinvent our model because this is not the model of tomorrow. It's part of the answer for tomorrow, but it can't be the model of tomorrow. And this whole shift that AXA is trying to embody by shifting from payer to partner, as we call it internally, is a paradigm shift to some extent, where we really want to strengthen the relationship with clients who rely on AXA, not only for protection, but also for prevention. Doesn't change the fact that insurance will still be around and we will still need insurance cover, but it can't be the sole answer to those risks.
Seems like it gives you a more comprehensive relationship with your customer, right? Yeah, you mentioned a little bit about AI. So what can your AI predict that traditional insurance models are missing? And can you give us kind of an example of that?
The way insurance works and has worked forever is by looking at the past, right? This is how we use stochastic models. And basically, we look at average 20 years, average 50 years, average 100 years. And it works really well until the point where risks change. And clearly, if you take climate change, for instance, it's probably the poster child of changing risks. You can't anymore rely on historical data only. And this is where AI, this is where new sensors such as geospatial data, for instance, comes into the equation. AI integrates live data, combining a historical pattern, of course, but as well using new data sets such as temperature, the presence of vegetation, the density, the winds, and so on, to create actual ground truth estimate of risks. So if we take a practical example, we've worked quite a lot on wildfires. To address this challenge on wildfire, we use real-time satellite data that we blend with 20 other factors such as topographic insights, temperature, density of vegetation, presence of human factor, etc., etc. And we blend that so that in real time, we have an exposure against risks. That is, for instance, used by several firefighters companies across Europe, and they use that to prepare more effectively their operation and being faster at reacting to save property and lives.
So this is really forward looking. So where do you think this is all heading? What does the future look like when everyone has access to this kind of risk prediction?
It might be a bit overused, but I think we are ahead of a paradigm shift. I think it's completely redefining the whole industry. Maybe not tomorrow, but likely the day after tomorrow. We are moving from curative medicine to preventive medicine. So I go to the doctor when I'm sick, but instead of that, I'm going to the doctor in order not to become sick. And I think this is why our industry is changing. Risk management becomes proactive, simple, accessible to all line of business. Most of the organization will be protected. Fewer disaster will happen. And insurance evolves into a service that not only safeguard the balance sheet of our clients, but also support sustainability and resilience of the companies, of the individuals, and of the entire society. And we know it works. There have been some studies done by the central bank that says that if you spend $1 on prevention, it saves up to $7 in reparation. So we know there is a business case for our industry, and we know there is a business case for our overall industry, overall society. And this is why we have to go that way. And this is why I think it's so exciting to see this paradigm shift again and this revolution across our traditional industry.
I agree, Pierre. This is like amazing. You guys have certainly done an amazing job. So is there anything else that you would like people to know?
Yeah, so I could probably talk forever about it. So This really excites me. And what's really exciting as well is to test and learn with clients, to discover together and to build solutions together. And I think the answer can't be only digital. And that's why we work very tightly as well with our prevention engineering arms. And we can send boots on the ground to complement the digital angle. But digital gives us the ability to scale and to support clients globally, which is really, really new and really exciting for us because we know we can have an impact. Last but not least, we know where we are good at, but we can't be good at everything. And this is why we chose the platform model, because around us, we gathered an ecosystem of partners, some very niche startups, some very large companies who have part of the answer. And our goal is to orchestrate those answers into a comprehensive and meaningful value proposition to our users so that together we solve this challenge. It's not a matter of AXA alone solving it, but AXA can help structuring the offer and the answer to those challenges.
Great. Well, merci beaucoup, Pierre.
Avec plaisir.
Predict and Prevent is a podcast brought to you by the Institutes. Subscribe on your preferred listening platform and join us for future episodes, where we continue to dig into this approach and the opportunities it's creating for risk management and insurance.